When I read the script, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't wait to see, turn the page and see what the next line was going to be. What was the motive for this actually happening? And it keeps you on your toes the whole time. You think it's going to be a psychological thriller, and then it has this wonderful spin of being a real gritty horror film, and it's not what you expect. So I'm Carla, and I play Tessa, who is the mum of the storyline which everything evolves around. And it's a really interesting concept because she's obviously this really strong woman who's gone through a lot during her lifetime, and it just seems that she gets to this point in her life when all of a sudden it seems like the bottom has fallen out.
We start off with someone who doesn't know what she's feeling. That comes to the forefront and she has an awareness of it. And then as we move through, that kind of heartfelt and gut-led and the fight kind of come together, and she can appreciate what she has in this family unit and what she has in the group of strong women around her.
Thea has a more of a softer side to her than Talia. Talia is very strong, very bolshy, but yet Thea has this, I think Tessa sees more of herself in Thea. Because the two daughters are very different in their personalities, she's struggling trying to find the right way to get the best out of both of them.
My character appears at a time where Tessa's just getting walked all over by people around her, and my character's not happy with it, and she doesn't want her to take that crap from people anymore, essentially. So she is kind of the voice of reason to Tessa, and she's trying to guide her to reclaim her life and get that back and get that confidence again. And she does this both by being a little bit stirring the pot and egging her on, causing a bit of havoc, and also being caring. And through that kind of action, she obviously affects all of the characters around Tessa, which heavily affects the whole story, and that's all I can really say about that. Think of all the shit we went through to get here. The poverty, the abuse, the firm backhanders from that alcoholic piece of shit sperm donor of a father. Look at her, fucking spoiled bitch.
So when Gabe turns up on Tessa's doorstep out of the blue, it's a real shock for her because in her eyes, she's lost everything. She's lost her husband, she's questioning what kind of marriage they had, what kind of life they had together, was it deceitful? He's now turned up on her doorstep and she feels this attraction because she remembers the attraction she had for her husband when they first met. So she's torn between these feelings that she's having. Is she attracted to him? Is it because she's in a vulnerable state? And she's questioning, why am I feeling these things? And allowing herself to experience that, she is tormented by it, I think.
Since I read the script, it's very unique. I've never really seen anything done that way. It's a very I know that it's horror, but it's kind of like a new kind of sub-genre sort of thing. It's got all of the things that you would expect from a horror. It's got mystery, it's got a twist. It's also got a little bit of weird gore in there, which I think everyone sort of loves.
I think because it subverts the conventional expectations of the genre. So it's kind of, you think you're getting wise to something that's happening, and then, something happens and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, but that, it's so much better and makes much more sense in relation to everything.
A lot of complexity to it with the narrative and the character development. So characters that people might connect with or like at the beginning, they might not necessarily like or connect with at the end. There's a lot of unexpected twists and turns, which aren't necessarily stereotypical as with some films in the horror genre.
I think as we're watching films, we want that. We want the unknown, and I think this movie will 100% grab the attention of people, and you'll be talking about it and discussing, people's characters afterwards. And for me, that's a great film.